On the 25th of April 2025, the United States Attorney's Office, the District of Maryland, published this press release that reads, Maryland man charged with providing material support to a conspiracy to murder, kidnap, and maim individuals in Cameroon. The so-called Garri Master, or Master of Mutilation, called for violent attacks against Cameroonian civilian population and raised funds to supply AK-47s to separatist groups. A federal grand jury has indicted Eric Tataw, 38 years old of Gettysburg, Maryland. The Cameroonian national, also known as the Garri Master, is charged with conspiring to provide material support to armed separatist groups in Cameroon and making threatening communications to injure or kidnap Cameroonian civilians. According to court documents, multiple armed and violent secessionist groups in the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon are fighting to form a new country called Ambazonia. The armed separatist groups sought to achieve secession by not only attacking the Cameroon military, but also intentionally attacking the civilian population in Cameroon in an attempt to coerce and intimidate the Cameroonian government into allowing these regions to secede. These separatist fighters are frequently referred to as Amba Boys. Eric Tataw and his co-conspirators masterminded and financially supported a vicious scheme to overthrow a foreign government. They resorted to an unthinkable level of violence while instilling fear in innocent civilians to advance their political agenda. We, along with our law enforcement partners, are committed to relentlessly pursue anyone who attempts to inflict mayhem on others. Eric Tataw and his co-conspirators demonstrated a total disregard for human life, so now they must pay the price. The defendant is alleged to have ordered horrific acts of violence, including severing limbs, against Cameroonian civilians in support of a violent secessionist movement. This indictment represents the Justice Department's commitment to hold accountable human rights violators who direct brutal political violence and fundraise for armed militias from the comfort of the United States. The Justice Department will not tolerate those who help to murder, maim, and kidnap. We will continue to hold accountable those who aim to turn American soil into a staging ground for political violence abroad. As alleged in the indictment, Eric Tataw is a citizen of Cameroon living in Maryland and was a member of the Cameroonian diaspora with a large social media following. Beginning no later than April 2018, Eric Tataw conspired to provide material support and resources, including money, weapons, and personnel, to Amba Boys in Cameroon and call for the murder, kidnapping, and maiming of Cameroonian civilians. Eric Tataw and his co-conspirators directed the maiming of Cameroonian civilians by severing their limbs, a practice that Eric Tataw called the garrying, and Eric Tataw used the phrase small garry to refer to removing fingers or small appendages, and the phrase large garry to refer to removing large limbs or killing people. Additionally, Eric Tataw referred to himself as the Garri Master or the Master of Mutilation. Eric Tataw and his co-conspirators targeted those believed to be working for or collaborating with the Cameroon government, including municipal officials, traditional chiefs, and employees of the Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, a government-owned company that grew, processed, and sold bananas, palm oil, and rubber. As alleged, Eric Tataw personally wrote hundreds of social media posts on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, calling for attacks against Cameroonian civilians, seeking to raise funds to arm Amba Boys, and threatening those he viewed as cooperating with the Cameroonian government. These social media posts were regularly viewed by tens of thousands of people, including Amba Boys and their leaders, and were often further disseminated by third parties allegedly acting at Eric Tataw's direction or encouragement. Eric Tataw and his co-conspirators solicited and raised funds to supply Amba boys with firearms, ammunition, explosive materials, and other equipment for enforcing lockdowns or ghost town orders and carrying out violent attacks. A fundraising campaign known as the National AK Campaign was designed to arm each Amba boy in Cameroon with an AK-47 rifle. From about September 2018 through December 2020, Eric Tataw and his co-conspirators raised more than 110,000 US dollars. Eric Tataw and co-conspirators transferred portions of these funds either directly or through intermediaries to Amba boys located in Cameroon and neighboring Nigeria. Additionally, Eric Tataw communicated directly with Amba boy leaders on the ground in Cameroon. Eric Tataw also, on multiple occasions, personally took credit for Amba boys murdering, kidnapping, and maiming civilians in Cameroon with the separatist cause.
Okay, thank you so much. As you join, let's share. We are doing the official launching of the National AK Campaign project today. And we want to thank all the other activists who gave the privilege to this platform of ours to launch it. Of course, you know, there are many activists who are involved in these, Mark Barita and others, and Joshua Carr, of course, and a couple of other activists, Sikod, and, you know, Atanga Achiri. But if they say that we should put it on this platform for us to begin the National AK campaign, is only a privilege, it's not a right. As a matter of fact, we had suggested that Mark should host or other activists, but they said, let's just put it here because we had a couple of people in the US who were supposed to join here, but they will talk from their houses. So this is the golden project of for the Ambazonian Liberation Independence War.
Some are contribute them when I don't hear wait the Justice Department for America a write about Eric Tataw and the indictment, but wait away I want me to pay attention to now this one way I just come on for read them about Eric Tataw and the co-conspirators them, how they supply weapons them to Amba boys them, and where they launched the so-called National AK campaign for raise money, and how when I think say they know say they raise more than $110,000 as the right time for day. How I think say they know about this National AK campaign and how much they raise them, and say Eric Tataw able to communicate directly with the Amba boys them on the ground. Now because the Justice Department for America, they get Eric Tataw your telephones, the day inside they don't see your communication, they get access to the bank account details, the PayPal, the Cash App, where they raise money for day, where it means say all the people the way they donate money to Eric Tataw for go kill people then for Cameroon, the American government get their details, get their telephone numbers, get their names, and they go indict them all, and they go all face justice for supporting terrorism and sponsoring the murdering and kidnapping for ransoms and the maiming and killing people and the Garri process inside Cameroon. All of these people they go pay. This so-called National AK campaign it will be started by Mark Barita. At that time, Mark Barita it live for Belgium, but now it live inside the United Kingdom. Ye too, Mark Barita, it go face justice for this crime because now ye actually start the so-called National AK campaign. Christensia Asong, when a Bangwa woman for America, when I don't see the video, where they do live video, they raise money for so-called National AK campaign. All of this I don't archive them. And then again, when Eric Tataw will do that live broadcast with Christensia Asong, when they be shut down, the one for talk about raising money and asking people to donate money to the so-called National AK campaign, Eric Tataw again, it talk about me, una countryman. So Eric Tataw will talk about una countryman because I be the sunshine people the way they contribute money to Ambazonian terrorism, especially Fidelis Ambe, and they go to cry for them, say countryman, they take their pictures and their details them, they post them for Facebook, so they fear for contribute, for donate their money for sponsor Ambazonian terrorism. So Eric Tataw now, it come for live video, can't tell them, say, make no man no fear. When I give una money, say, make no man no fear, country people, we will take down your website, it may make that noise. So when I don't say, I'm say, I don't always been at the one chuku where it there for Eric Tataw, Ikanda, always. When Eric Tataw should have a live video, a one do fundraising with Christensia Asong, it talk about una countryman. When they want for launch the so-called National AK campaign with Mark Barita, Eric Tataw be talking about una countryman, me. So when I don't say I'm saying I don't always be behind Eric Tataw. I need know. And now why that way Eric Tataw, yes yourself, it will confirm I need talk say when I listen.
Lesson number one, my country people talk about it. Listen, whether or not you accept my country people is a force to reckon with. Me, I agree. He's an enemy that is strong. So Ambazonians will thank my country people for the wonderful job. Now, we'll go ahead.